begin by suggesting a little bit some of the things that I've come to know about God. And one of the things that I've come to know about God, and I'm just going to talk about it for a little bit, is that God has the ability to fulfill his promises. I mean, God can do what God says he can do. Unlike people who make promises and may have all kinds of intentions, good ones and whatever, to fulfill those promises, but maybe circumstances and provision, they don't allow them to do that. God is not like that. God can make a promise, and God can do whatever God says he can do. I mean, if God speaks a thing to you, then the God that speaks it to you can perform whatever it is he has spoken. And that has to be comforting news to us, because life is so unpredictable and all kinds of things are hurled at us from all kinds of people. But God is not like that. He just doesn't hurl statements and comments and promises to us. If God ever speaks a thing, my God will perform what he has spoken. God will bring it to pass. I'm also the first to admit that God's ways are not like our ways, but certainly his ability to complete his spoken word is without question. You can rest in whatever God has spoken. Whatever he starts, without question, he will complete. Lord help me. Now that ought to be good news for somebody. That all you have to be certain of is that God started it. Because he don't start nothing he does not intend to finish. And though you may be struggling within the process of his beginning and ending, you can rest assured that when it's over, you will be better. Because God will do what God has said he will do. Because of that, then, he becomes a God to be believed and trusted. And maybe it's because of, since the women's conference with Darlene Bishop and others, I'm on a new kick of belief. Anybody got a new as it relates to what you believe God to perform and how you're trusting him? Anybody got, just in the last month or so, got a surge? I mean, I have gotten a new surge to believe and trust God. And I've taken that little acronym that co-pastor Darlene left with us. I've taken it, and I've taken it as a personal indictment to my faith. Remember, she did believe. Because Emmanuel lives, I expect victory every time. I said, because Emmanuel lives, I expect victory every time. I do believe, and I trust God that whatever he has spoken to me, he's going to make good on his word. If there's any other thing that I've come to understand or learn about God, not only is God to be believed and trusted, but God is to be believed in and trusted in spite of the circumstance. See, it's the one thing to believe and trust him When everything in your life, every aspect of your life is lining up with what you believe and what you're trusting him for. But it becomes a tad bit more difficult to trust and believe him when everything you're trusting and believing him for is not even hinted on the horizon of your life. I didn't come for everybody, but I came for a few real honest folk in here. And I have to admit, and so won't the honest folk in here, that sometimes God just kind of gets on my nerve. Some of y'all can't say that. Some of y'all just so holy, so sanctified, and so going on with Jesus anyhow. So you can't tell the truth, but I got a few telling the truth folk in here. Sometimes you just want to ask him, not just, why are you doing this like this? I don't mind you doing it, but why you got to do it? I mean, especially after he boasted about being omniscient, he all wise and all knowing. Is this the best scenario you could come up with? See, that don't mean too much to some of you, because you haven't given God your all and he hasn't pressed you. Not only does he sometimes become a tad bit confusing to me, but then he has strange strategies. And I consider myself an intelligent person. Now, I ain't the most intelligent, but I do have a measure. And all that I have not acquired through book knowledge, I certainly have acquired through common sense. But he got some strange strategies, especially as it relates to deliverance. See, I'm going to have some of you, because see, some of you are already trying to act like you don't have anything in your life you need to be delivered from. Look at your neighbor and say, come up out of that trance. That's just what you're in, some kind of trance. Because you do have areas of your life that you need to be delivered from. And it doesn't have to be smoking and drinking and running around. Some of you are mean, some of you are nasty, some of you complain all the time, some of you are jealous and envious. You got something. Don't get me started up in here too early. Don't get me started up in here. Some of you are so mean, we don't even like to sit beside you. And some of you complain about everything. Everything. Every little old thing. Every big... No, we don't want to be bothered with you. You need to be delivered. He got some strange strategies.